It's the Big Tech Show where we speak with tech experts about the apps in the ecosystem. I'm right here in Victoria Island, set to speak with the founder and chief sparkler of Sparkle Nigeria. Walk with me. With me on this sparkling episode is the founder and chief sparkler, Uzoma Dozie. Hi, Uzoma.
Hi, Benjamin. Thank you for having me on the show.
Yes. It's such an amazing time, and it's a great experience to finally meet you, one of the brothers of the Dozie family. I've read so much about the Dozie family, from Diamond Bank to other works in fintech, right? I was curious, what's the founding story or growing up story, right? How did all of you in your family decide to do entrepreneurship and even do fintech?
That's a very interesting question, consider also we're five boys. And we span 10 years. So
right.
I'm the oldest, and my youngest is 10 years younger than I am. So,
okay.
And it's interesting because I think we all grew up in different environments. Because my last brother probably enjoyed, and he lived in the time when we had the generator. I lived in the time when we relied on NEPA and candles and Tales by Moonlight when there was nothing else. So, but I think the most common trait is that my father was an entrepreneur. I don't think he ever worked I think he worked for one company once, but the rest of his life was a hustler. So he had started his own company way back in 1970s called African Development Consulting Group. He was an economist, and so all he did was going around doing consultancy jobs. And then from there he became, he waddled into banking. I think he became a director of Central Bank, one of the directors of Central Bank, and then from there, chairman of Progress Bank back in those days. I'm surprised I even remember the name. And then he started Diamond Bank, and then he also was part of MTN. So he's always been entrepreneurial, looking for the next big thing, looking for ways to, and I think that's why Diamond Bank was successful, because he was always looking to do something else that nobody else was doing, looking for gaps in the system. And I think that's what we have done. So all my brothers, we are entrepreneurial. I would say I'm the one who has worked by blood. I'm the one who has worked in more a structured organization.
Right.
But in that time, I was always looking for how to change the status quo. So when I worked even in financial control, was how do we change it from just very boring reports to more exciting management information system. Okay. I started the retail journey in Diamond Bank that became our mainstay of business, and now I find myself on a sparkling journey.
Right. Thank you so much. So when you think about your time at Diamond Bank, people that grew up in that time would think Diamond Bank is part of the traditional banks, right? And then we have this new age banks, right? So my question is, as CEO of Diamond Bank and as CEO of Sparkle right now, has there been any change, or have you noticed any differences either in your approach or in your delivery of your work?
I would tell you that the Sparkle journey started in Diamond Bank when I became CEO. I think when I became CEO of Diamond Bank, even before that, we were already beginning to break down the barriers of our traditional outlook and culture, and we're actually going back to our original way of doing things. When Diamond Bank first started, when I used to go there, we were first name terms, people were very relaxed, but they wore suits and blue shirts or white ties. Okay. And it's all I'm a paradox. I'm a creature of habit, but I like structure, but I like borderless structures. So I like guidelines. So at Diamond Bank, we changed the culture. No, we changed the culture. We changed the dress code. Dress code. So it was jeans and a Diamond Bank T-shirt if you wanted to.
In a bank.
In a bank. Well, yeah, in a bank, but in a bank because the whole idea was, who are your customers, and dress for your customers, and don't dress because of a banker. So we're bankers, so there's a code in which we dress, and everybody else conform. But it doesn't make sense when your customers are actually not wearing suits.
Yeah.
For me, it's a superiority complex. Okay. Secondly, I think the biggest thing is that if you say that you are all working together in retail and you have your CEO who's wearing flashy suits and your shop floor worker who your colleague can't afford to wear this kind of suit, so there's a kind of dichotomy. But when we're all wearing jeans and t-shirts, right? We're all the same.
Like 11.
Yeah, so like there's that commonality and it also brings people closer together. Okay. So those are the things. And then at Diamond Bank, we're actually working with fintech companies to create new solutions.
Okay.
So when you think of the Diamond Yellow that we created, when you think of better banking, that was in collaboration with companies that were developing new stuff. And so it was harder in Diamond Bank because we were trying to change people's mindsets. Right? So like we're trying to move from cash to digital, from paper to paperless. All those things required a lot of work and effort, trying to convince people and trying to show people. At Sparkle, that's how we started. We started paperless, cashless, and this is the way we do things. Nobody has their own chair. Nobody has their own space. We're fluid every day. There's remote working, there's on working. Our office is a reflection of, our values, which is, freedom to express yourself, but freedom is also discipline. Yes. And so it's not just freedom and let's go crazy. It's freedom in a very methodical manner.
Yes, and that makes a lot of sense. So the question is, people that do digital banking now, right? We see them trying to, go get a banking license, right? And initially the idea was a departure from traditional banking. So is it a case of which one is more sustainable, right? To do traditional banking or to do digital banking? Or like, what in your opinion is the merging point or melting point?
Okay, for me, I see life completely different. Like sometimes we put things in like boxes, and that's why, for example, if you go to a bank or if you go to an organization, everything is in either in a product or in a category, and that's so that we can manage people, right? Okay. So like you will see today, so let's take a look at it. Today, if I wanted to start a business, I will not even go and look for an office. I will start my business now.
Yes.
I don't need to look for an office because the most important people is my customers, and my customers don't even want to come to my office at all. They want to access my products and services. So my new office is actually my website, my web front, my Instagram page. That's what people do. Now, if I want to start a bank today, why should I start looking for branches when my customers don't want to come? For us, to me, like one of my colleagues in Sparkle told me that she was going to her bank to collect her bank card. I found out crazy. Like today, you want to, why would I subject anyone to going to collect a card when that card should actually come to you, wherever you are? That's the philosophy that we have, because during lockdown, you couldn't go anywhere. Things had to come to you. The businesses that survived and thrived were the ones that were actually making sure that their customers could access them or stuff could get to them. And that's the philosophy that I have. So but we do understand that people would need to go to some physical places, but there's a lot of infrastructure there already. So for us in Sparkle, our business model is one, we're digital, but if we need to be physical, we will collaborate and partner, and I think that's the new way of doing business. We don't have to build everything. There's enough infrastructure. Take education, for example. They don't need to build new schools. There are empty buildings there that you can use. In fact, you don't need, a building. Education is not about a physical place. Education is about access to information, and that's our philosophy.
Yeah. So at the end of the day, it would be on a needs basis. So whether you get a physical location or you get a, let's say, a branch, right? My other question is around, when you think about the future of Sparkle, right? What do you see in it, let's say in the next 2 to 5 years?
For want of a better way to explain, right? We're a digital bank, but we're just much more than that. We have two customer sets. We have individuals and we have small businesses. Now, the small businesses is where our main value proposition is. One, because the future of Nigeria is in the hands of small businesses. And when I say future of Nigeria, that's social and economic development. Small businesses are the biggest employer of labor in developed economies, not government. And so we have 40 million small businesses that are somewhat excluded because they don't have access to services that make them sustainable, access that enables them to employ more people, right? To be more productive, right? To be more sustainable. And that's where Sparkle is. Sparkle wants to be the small business platform, not bank, the small business platform. The platform that somebody says, I have an idea, and how do businesses start? They start by the idea that I want to help somebody. That's why. Why I want to provide a service. So somebody says, I wake up today and think, great, that's a great idea. I think this will serve people. I want to think, how do I start it? You start it on the Sparkle platform. You go there, you check for a business name, you get your tax details, you open your account, you open your web front, then you have access to a market. You enter a tribe into an ecosystem that's already, going to help you do that. That's where I see Sparkle. Right? And that is not just banking. That's going to be collaboration and partnership with different stakeholders who are going to make that happen. If you go downstairs, our mantra, we have a big sign, what do you want to do today? And for us, what do you want to do today and how can we help you get there? If we can't do it ourselves, we have a lot of partners and collaboration of people that are going to help us do that. And so that's the Sparkle ethos.
Yeah, and you can speak about one of those partnerships, one with Visa.
Yes.
What does that help you and your customers do?
So in starting Sparkle, we had to build some trust. And one way to build trust is to partner with people. And so Visa is a great partner to work with because first, they're everywhere. They're global, right? They're a trusted brand. And if they're a trusted brand and associated with Sparkle from a strategic perspective, you can trust them. Secondly, they are a platform that just gives us access to a bigger world. It gives our customers access to a payment system that can be used everywhere in Nigeria. So it's beyond just a local card, it's an international card. And as our market and business opens up, it gives our customers access to that. So from a values perspective, that's why trust is important in Visa. That's why Visa it's a very important partner.
Yeah. And
that's why Microsoft as well and that lot. But it's also about inclusion as well. Because if I use Visa, which is global, that means we are actually trying to be inclusive. We're trying to make sure that everybody can be accessed and everybody can access.
Yeah. Okay, so what would you say has been your greatest challenge so far? In my head, I already have some assumptions, but it would be nice to hear from you, in birthing a new thing. What has been your biggest challenge?
Okay. I don't like that biggest challenge, but there are many challenges.
Yes.
And there are many challenges from different areas. So the most important one from the customer side is just acceptance.
Okay.
Because one, people don't like to try new things. And don't forget, Sparkle started in a period of uncertainty during the COVID period.
Yes.
In fact, that's when we launched, which had its benefits and its disadvantages. But it was getting people to try Sparkle and to try Sparkle. So that whole education was a challenge. But it's getting better as more people use it and more features come on board. Internally, from a people perspective, people are always the problem. From the people perspective, there are twofolds. One is the right people, the talent that you want, right? And at the right time. Second one is the diversity of talent. So when we look at it, because we're a gender-based focused organization. So we want 50%. Now, when you have a lot of tech people and a lot of them are male-dominated industry, it means that you're always going to struggle to get that balance, but you must be focused on it. So about 40% female to male, and hopefully in the next month or so, we'll get that balance back, and then we'll put structures in place to make sure that we sustain that.
And I must say, I've toured your office, and I really like this space. It looks very welcoming. So well done on that.
Thank you.
So in the space you're playing in, I know a lot of people watching, we think, you're playing in digital banking space. And, there are like 6 or 7 of those digital banks currently in the country. So do you think the space is being crowded, or what's your perspective to the industry and digital banks?
We haven't scratched the surface. The more great players that you have, the better the competition, the better for people, better innovation. Yeah. Banking in Nigeria got better when they opened up the banking space, new licenses in 1991, and you had the likes of GT Bank, Zenith Bank, and that Access Bank. And today what you find is that we are actually, if there's one industry that has been innovative and is leading from a banking perspective globally, it's actually Nigeria, because competition is very, very strong.
Yes.
Now, we want that in digital, and it's always good so that because competition breeds better structure, better value proposition, and better trust, and also the cost of educating people is less because we are now sharing it. Now, if Sparkle was the only digital bank in Nigeria, we are going to be raising money every single hour because it's marketing is big. You have to create awareness. You have to, and there's a lot of noise today because everybody's also doing banking. We're not just, so forget digital banks. Everybody's doing banking. Whether you're a supermarket, whether you are, once you have a platform, a body of people, you have a wallet, and that wallet is competing with me. Then you have people who are lending, and you have people who are doing transactions or doing trade by barter. So it's a very competitive landscape, and then you must have a platform or a mission that allows you to adapt to changing market. As people change, lifestyles change, as people's mode of accessing services change, we must be able to be responsive to that and change that. So today it's mobile. Tomorrow it's going to be a different device. It could be Internet of Things. It could be, wearables, and I may be wearables, exactly. And I believe if you watch, I can't remember what that name was, Arnold Schwarzenegger again. I can't remember it again. But
Terminator.
Not Terminator. I think it's the one where Total Recall.
Okay.
Fantastic. The new version, and you see they're talking to people and from their hand.
Yeah.
That shit is going to happen. Believe me, because it's just a matter of time. You only have to watch it. I'm a great fan of Star Wars and Star Trek. And if you watch Star Trek in the 70s, and see the device, they were using mobile phones in the 70s, early 70s, as to talk, or they call them transponders. Today, it's
almost normal.
It's almost normal. Watch Star Trek, the last Star Trek in the last 5 years, and believe me, it's going to happen.
Yeah, that even just feels like they are the predictors of the future.
Yeah.
But anyway, so walk me through your day-to-day as a CEO now, right? What do you do? What do you think when you wake up? When do you wake up? Just talk us through that.
I'm completely structureless. When people ask me that question, I really don't know. I know that there's certain things I know that I'm going to do.
Yes.
When I'm going to do them in the day, I don't know, right?
Okay.
Because it depends. My morning can start at 12 p.m. because maybe I went to bed at 5 a.m. because I don't want to be restricted by, okay, it's 12 o'clock, time to go to bed. You need 6 hours sleep now at 6 o'clock. Now, I mean, that's why we're digital, right? Because I can decide, okay, I'm going to be on China time from next week. So that means that while everyone is sleeping, and then while everyone is sleeping, I'm going to be awake and also I like the night. I like the still of the night. Yeah. But I'll tell you that I like to work out. I'll check my emails. I also check some stats, some numbers from the day before. I have a to-do list that I would say, okay, these are things I want to do today. Maybe check off, have meetings, talk to people. I have a diary that I try to put in what I did yesterday or what my conversations with myself. Yeah. And then of course, what else would I do? Meet people, depending on the time of the day. If it's on a Saturday or Sunday, I'm either going to play golf or I'm going to have drinks with my friends or my family. Yeah. And so that was always a difficult question because I don't have a structured. Yeah. I just know that there are things that I need to do on any given day. When I do them, that day depends on when my day starts. Yes. And so my day can start at 3 p.m. and end at 3 a.m. the next day. But that I like to. Then of course I like to, and also I like to create content, media. Okay. So I like to take pictures, I do videos, and that takes a lot of time to edit. To taking the pictures or creating content is the easiest bit. Now when it comes to putting it together to tell the story or to capture to refine it, that takes a long time.
Yes. To quickly segue into financing and funding, we've seen a lot of fintech startups raise a lot of money. Is Sparkle going to go that route of venture capital funding, raising a Series A, raising a seed round or whatever? How do you think about financing and capital?
We're very traditional. I'm a very traditional person, and I guess too that from the experiences that I've had, in working in traditional banks, I mean, we're going to raise money based on what we need.
Okay.
So that we're going to raise money from what we need and what we have to do, and we're going to do it in consideration of all our stakeholders and what we want to do. One thing is for sure is that we want to be captains of our own destiny.
Yes.
And to do that, where we raise and how we raise is very important, right? I mean, like our vision is to, redefine the way commerce is done in Nigeria from an individual and business perspective. Yeah. And so where we're raising money for is going to be based on people who believe in that dream and believe and trust in how we're going to do it, and not, you have instances where people invest and start telling you what to do.
Yes.
Telling you what to do and advising are completely two different things.
Yes.
And then we also want Sparkle to be owned by Nigerians in the end. Because of my years of experience of knowing people as well and working with people, we can tap into that Nigerian network access fund to do that, and we'll do that as we go, as our strategy goes. So right now, I would say yes, I'm always going to raise money. We'll probably raise money, but the nomenclature, I'm not one who's bogged down with it. I don't understand what Series A means or seed money. Yeah. All I know is that I need to raise money. I know people who are. When I need to raise money, I know the people who are going to help us do it, and I know the structure that I want. Now, the nomenclature, as long as we understand that, one, it's going to be good for the stakeholders, our shareholders, the note holders, and it's going to help us do what we want to do, which is, help our customers, or create an enabling environment for our customers to meet their potential. That's what we're going to do.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, that's interesting.
And it also depends on regulators as well. If things change, if there's a change, if there's a capital requirement that changes, or if they change, like right now we're using the microfinance license, it was Sparkle Microfinance, but if there's now a new license or a new requirement or a new regime, then we'll look at it, and if it's to advantage, if we need to raise money, build a capital to get that license to do much more or access more services, for sure, we'll definitely do that. And I think we're always prepared and ready to do that. But one thing we don't want to have is too much capital, because too much capital puts pressure on you. Yes. Pressure is good, but the right type of pressure.
So thank you very much. I've really enjoyed learning from you and listening to you speak about how you think about Sparkle, learning about your hobbies. In less than a year, Sparkle has become a much talked about name, right? Amidst the sea of digital banks, there's Sparkle, right? So well done on that.
Thank you.
Also, I like your outfit. You look like me.
Just the black version.
Yeah, just the black version. But yes, thank you. I wouldn't let you go until you play my game.
Yeah.
It's a very simple game, right? I'll read out two options, and you pick your preference and tell me why.
Excellent.
Ready?
Yeah.
Text or call?
Text.
Why?
I don't like talking. Get to the point.
Okay. Cash or transfer?
Transfer all the time.
Cashless, right? Boat or plane?
Plane.
Why?
Faster. Get there quickly.
Somebody might argue that though, depending on how far you're going. In-hall or online banking?
Online.
Of course. I need the answer to that.
No brainer.
Banking apps or web apps?
Banking apps.
Why mobile over web?
Always mobile. Mobile first.
Okay. Digital watch or analog?
Digital all the time.
You're already giving yourself away with your watch. Yeah. Thank you everyone for joining me on this Big Tech Show with founder and chief sparkler of Sparkle, Uzoma Dozie. Thank you so much for your time. A few years ago, if I was speaking with a CEO, he'd probably be wearing a suit and a tie, but look at me and Uzoma, like brothers and co-founders.
Like twins.
All right, so see you next time on the next show. It's Benjamin Dada. So thank you so much for your time. Most of you know our guests from the Diamond Bank TV commercials. Well, right now, Uzoma Dozie is the founder and chief sparkler of Sparkle Nigeria. To find out who the next big tech giant is, keep watching the Big Tech Show.